I have already been introduced, so I will go directly to the presentation. As he has said, this is the first Intercounty Physical and Land Use Development Plan, which has been prepared in the entire country, that is Kenya. And that is the planning area. As you can see it, it's spanning across 3 counties, Machakos, Makueni, and Kajiado. Of course, Konza Technopolis is at the center. So the 10 kilometers is from the boundary of Konza Technopolis, and you can also appreciate the acreages there. So the plan was prepared by a multi-agency team coordinated by the National Director for Physical Planning. Thank you so much, Planner Mangira. I can see you here. May God bless you. And also the 3 counties, Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, Wildlife Research Institute, Konza, Kenya Space Agency, and the rest. So this plan couldn't be prepared were it not for Konza Technopolis being in place. And I know you have already seen these plans. We were conceived in 2009, and we have walked a long journey until 2022, when we had our first plan, comprehensive plan prepared and approved. And so that is what now necessitated preparation of the buffer zone plan. That is Konza. I'm sure we have seen this plan before. So why did we have to do this? Why the buffer zone plan? I'll give a case of a city called Avasa, which is in India. It was planned to be a smart and sustainable city, just like Konza Technopolis. But instead of meeting its vision, what happened is that there were slums. There are slums around that smart city of Lavasa. And the reason why this happened is because during planning and also development of the city, there was no provision of affordable housing. So what happens if there is no affordable housing? Then the workers who are working within the city center, the CBD, Konza in this case, they of course have to come up with makeshift structures for their accommodation. Also, the city was planned in a way that it was self-sustaining, that they didn't need their neighbors. And so that means the surrounding was not provided with enough infrastructure, and so of course informal trading centers coming up, and many other issues that led to this. And to avoid this, that's why we came up with the buffer zone plan. Of course, one of the reasons why we had to do this is to safeguard the investments at Konza Technopolis. You realize the government has spent a lot of money. So far, we are over 41 billion shillings, and that is just the first phase. And we don't need to come up with a very beautiful city in the middle of an unplanned area. And of course, provision of adequate infrastructure. And the most important thing is complementary, to complement each other. It's like a symbiotic relationship. As I'm going to explain, you realize that there are things that we'll expect to get from the buffer zone, and the buffer zone is also expecting to get from Konza Technopolis. For instance, we have planned for 240,000 day population, night population of 180,000. These 60,000, where will they stay? See, it's in the buffer zone. Yeah, so it will be like our bedroom. The buffer zone is like the bedroom of Konza Technopolis. Secondly is complement by accommodating land uses that are not provided for, especially within the Technopolis. For us, for instance, Konza Technopolis, we do not have heavy manufacturing industries, and so this is provided for within the buffer zone. Also, there are large infrastructural projects that cannot be accommodated in the Technopolis. We had really tried to have an airport or an airstrip within Technopolis, but we were told by KAA that it's not feasible, and because of that, that was proposed within the buffer zone. Of course, we also have some infrastructure that they can use, like the Waste to Energy Center. We have a Waste to Energy Center parcel. We are working with partners to develop it. All the waste from the buffer zone will be handled, especially the waste that cannot be recycled will be handled at the Technopolis. So of course, the plan preparation procedure, I won't go through this because planners, you know how it starts and all the notices that you're supposed to issue. And of course, we had to analyze all the emerging issues and identify opportunities and potentials across all the sectors. And so I'm going directly to the proposals because I think this is the most important aspect of this plan. And the first area is environmental conservation and climate change resilience. And the image there is a corridor that we proposed. Down here, I'm not so sure whether you'll be able to see my cursor. Is it visible? Yeah. So this is Konza Technopolis. This is Athi Kapiti, which is still within the buffer zone, Athi Kapiti Conservancy. And so we propose that a whole corridor connects all the way to Nairobi National Park so that you can have the wildlife being able to move freely from Nairobi National Park all the way to the conservancies within the buffer zone and back. Yeah, so that's one of the proposals. Of course, there are areas for animals to cross, the underpasses and all that, which have been proposed. Of course, also translocation of wildlife species from fragmented areas. There are areas that have been subdivided. My colleague has just talked about that. And so for the animals that are trapped there, we proposed for their translocation and many other proposals around that. But also the issue of ecotourism, and strategies to ensure that there is no human-wildlife conflict. On agriculture, and I think that's why I'm presenting this plan. How does planning ensure that the society is food safe or secure? And in our plan here, which is around 148,000, you can see a better chunk of the plan is made of agricultural land use, whatever looks like yellowish in color. And so to realize this, we've made various proposals, including, let me just go through a few because this is the main theme of the day. Construction of various earth dams across the 3 counties. Of course, there are some that are existing that we're going to upgrade, and also we have proposed new ones in the areas that are not served. Establishment of animal vaccine production center, that is within Konza Technopolis, and so the buffer zone is going to benefit from the vaccines that are going to be produced therein. Also partnerships and collaborations with the agricultural research institutions, as well as construction of hay industries, storage facilities, And the most important thing this plan has capped, or as provided for minimum. There's a presenter who talked about lack of minimum acreages required. For this plan has proposed that for all the ranches, the minimum acreage or land holding is 2.8 hectares. That's around 5 point something, almost 6 acres. And so for the existing ranches, we are going to cap to what extent they can be subdivided. Of course, we proposed for livestock production and value addition centers, including tanneries, especially on the Kajiado side. I'm going to show you proposals per county, and also value addition centers. Makueni, Machakos, the Ukambani region has a lot of mangoes, so we propose for various value addition centers for such products or produces. So on transportation, we've provided for various proposals, including for road network expanding and upgrading the existing road network and also new ones. Dualing of Mombasa Road, and I'm happy to report that dualing of Mombasa Road up to Emali, the feasibility study is ongoing. We are working with Kenha, and so very soon, from Nairobi to Konza, you'll be on dual carriageway. Of course, this is going to reduce the travel time. And also, we've proposed for construction of a new bypass all the way from Kajiado and terminating at Malili area, that is within Konza. And it will be extended all the way to Isinya and definitely Rongai at the end of the day. Then for air transport, we have proposed for an airstrip here, just at the border of Konza Technopolis. That is where we could get enough land that is a bit feasible, although KAA will still do their feasibility study for this. We have also provided for extension of SGR. SGR is around 12 kilometers from Konza, so its extension and the terminals will be within the airstrip, and also extension of the MGR from Old Konza. Old Konza is here around 7 kilometers all the way to Konza town. Of course, for communication, for the first time, the buffer zone will also have smart poles, just like within Konza Technopolis. On public utilities, I've already talked about the dams, and the most important thing, Thwake Dam, which is under construction. Thwake Dam is the main source of water for Konza Technopolis future. For now, we are getting water from Nol to Resh. And 30% of the water that will be treated within Konza Technopolis will be distributed to the buffer zone. But other than that, we have also provided for construction of a water tank. Sorry, where is it? Yeah, here. A water tank within Kimakiu area, which will also receive more water from Thwake Dam. And so I hope you can be able to appreciate. This is the buffer zone, and this is Twake Dam, which is in Makueni County, sorry. And the plan also provides for a way leave all the way from Twake to Konza. On safe and adequate, safe, and affordable social services, of course, you provided for establishment of several primary schools, secondary schools, and universities, and of course, upgrading of the existing ones. I may not be able to go through them one by one in the interest of time. Inclusive and sustainable urbanization. I think this is also quite interesting because you've tried to safeguard the agricultural area by introducing urban nodes. Instead of urbanizing the entire, we'll call it metropolis, I think, at the end of the day. Instead of urbanizing the entire metropolis, we've come up with urban nodes that are going to offer commercial services to the people, and then the rest of the land is left for agricultural development or purposes, which is very, very important. Of course, acceleration of issuance of title deeds for security of tenure, identifying potential growth areas, and also we have also in the guidelines, we have also a special, we have also mentioned what is the minimum land size to be maintained. That is trying to cap further subdivision beyond what is not economical. On affordable housing, I hope we can be able to appreciate that we have both high density and also medium density areas still in form of nodes, or they are concentrated in areas so that we still leave enough land for food and agriculture. And so the major or the general proposals are also establishing land banks for development of affordable housing, and also encouraging and enabling environment for PPP. And right now, I think the government is carrying out an affordable housing project. And even in Konza Technopolis, we are a beneficiary. We'll be having a groundbreaking on 9th of December for affordable housing projects being done by the State Department for Housing. And so as you've seen, we have both low, medium, and high density housing land uses. Industrialization, I think this is also important when it comes to agriculture. You realize Kajiado side, they keep animals, right? And so we need value addition for their products. And so we have proposed for tanneries and other value addition industries. Of course, for agro-based and industrialization also, there are various proposals therein, and also transfer of knowledge between Konza and the buffer zone. So Konza will be like a center of excellence, and so many companies, we are working with them right now, including one that is establishing a vaccine center. And also we are working with Israel on smart agriculture, and we believe that the buffer zone population is going to benefit from all this, because they'll be coming to Konza to learn and, of course, practice the same in the buffer zone area. Economy, there is a whole stretch in front of Konza Technopolis along Mombasa Road is commercial, and of course other urban nodes, of course including introduction of special economic zones within the buffer zone. Then these are now land use proposals per county. This is Kajiado County. Kajiado is the smallest because of course we are working with the 10 kilometers, so it's the smallest because of the distance. And so all these are the proposals within Kajiado County. I hope we can be able to appreciate a solid waste handling facility. We have value addition, we have milk processing, ranching, livestock yards, slaughterhouses, police stations. All those land uses are proposed for Kajiado. And then this is Machakos. I think Machakos is the largest, but it has the least population because the better part of it is a conservation area, that is the Kapiti Plains. But of course, so many proposals once again, including nature trails and of course, what are they called? Ecologies on top of the Kahil here, the Kapiti Hills up here. Of course, there is also an airstrip, SGR extension. There are so many. I may not be able to go through all of them. But I remember there's a university that we visited. Is it a university or an institution? It was abandoned. I can't remember the name. It's within Machakos. So there's also a planned upgrading of that institution into a university. Then there's Makueni County. Makueni County is the food basket for Konza Technopolis, because you see the larger part of it is majorly agricultural, and of course there are many other proposals to make sure that that area is urbanized, but not only urbanized, but also food secure. So finally, we've put together the 3 plans, and that is the buffer zone plan for Konza Technopolis. Hey, Siata, you clap for us, Yawa. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. You can see the various land uses. I'll be able to share the slides, but if you also need more information, I will definitely avail that. So for this plan, according to the Physical and Land Use Planning Act, it has to be approved by the 3 counties, okay? So Machakos County, Machakos, let me see you. Machakos County, very good. You have already approved the plan. We are waiting for Makueni. Do we have Makueni here? Ebu, let me see you, Makueni. Makueni, kindly, when you go back, tell them we need the plan approved. Malili is becoming a mess. It has become a slum as we are still awaiting for the approval of the plan. Kajiado, do we have Kajiado? Kajiado County also, please ensure that you have approved that plan. So finally, we are trying to address these challenges by coming up with a plan. I don't have to go through them. You are planners, you have experienced all this. But what I can say is that urban planning is deliberate by design. A city built without intention is a blueprint for chaos. Also, a good city is like a good party. People stay longer than really necessary because they are enjoying themselves. So we want to make Konza a very good city, not only Konza, but also 10 kilometers around us. God bless you. That is the end of my presentation.